Hello, everybody. You are listening to, or potentially watching, if you're on YouTube, Adventure Camp Radio. I'm Bobby Walsh.
And I'm CJ Cruz.
If you see me looking over here, ooh, I can't even see my hand. If you see me looking over here to my left, it's because I'm looking at CJ Cruz, who's still robot dancing. I don't know why you insist on distracting me with your robot moves. God, he's got some moves, this guy. Moves like Napoleon Dynamite. So we're here today to talk about Rogue One, which is the brand new Star Wars story. The trailer that just came out today. We're going to do a little reaction video as a way to come back into your hearts. We've been gone for a while.
Quite some time.
Quite like a year.
It's been basically a year.
We want you to just completely forget it ever happened and just listen to us. To the 5 people that subscribe to us.
Clean slate, new content.
Yep.
View us.
Yep.
Like us, subscribe, comment.
Okay.
On these videos.
Scrape the dust off the rest. We're going to be laughing a lot throughout this. So, listen. The other day, this bad boy came out, right? Conveniently placed behind me. Star Wars The Force Awakens Blu-ray. Pick it up. It's only $20 at Target and Best Buy and whatnot. Came out on Tuesday. Disney was like, look. Go ahead. You gonna say?
I was gonna say Disney's not paying us. Don't sell their Blu-ray.
I'm just saying it's worth it. It's good Blu-ray. It's good Blu. So Disney was like, hey, have you had enough Star Wars? No, you really haven't, have you? So here's a trailer that you didn't know was coming out today. And then they did the thing where they did the teaser to the teaser trailer, which was interesting. But it aired on Good Morning America, I think. Yeah. And it like really sold me. I'm like really sold on this movie that I had no clue I would even be.
Disney, take my money, please. Like, just take it. Yeah. I want to see this movie.
So, I told CJ, and I'll tell you guys, I had no inclination to see this movie. I mean, obviously it's Star Wars. I'm going to go see it anyway, but didn't know anything about it. Didn't know who was in the film aside from maybe Felicity Jones. I think I heard about. But I didn't know any of the plot or anything like that. Basically, the plot is it's a connector between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy, and it is the story of how the rebellion got a hold of the plans for the Death Star to blow it up. So yeah, I mean, which is really, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. If you're going to do anthology films and go back in time, it makes a lot of sense. So we thought we'd give you our initial thoughts. And we'll go one at a time. You go ahead, CJ.
My initial thought of this, I knew a little bit about the movie before this trailer dropped. I was excited. It's Star Wars. I'm going to be excited by anything with a Star Wars name on it. Didn't know exactly, what was going on other than the, synopsis of the film. And then I watched the trailer and I was pretty blown away. It has a lot of action. You get to see what I'm considering is the main characters of the group that's good. This movie's going to follow. You get to see
Rogue Squad or whatever they were calling it.
But whatever. I mean, Rogue One is
Rogue One is the squad.
I'm assuming that the team name is. But you get to see Forrest Whitaker. Get to see some Danny Yen. You get to see Felicity Jones, of course, is kind of the main character of this film, and she takes up most of the on-screen time in this trailer. You get to see Genevieve O'Reilly, reprising her role as Mon Mothma. You get to see the back of who I believe
either the original actress or they got somebody who looks exactly like her. I mean,
she looks.
I'm pretty sure it's her.
And then you get to see the back of who I believe is Senator Palpatine.
Some people have been theorizing that it's Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Cut to clip of the scene we're talking about.
But you also get to see a lot of the original Stormtroopers.
Yep.
Which is really cool to see. But you also get to see what looks like a hybrid of the Force Awakens Stormtrooper.
Right.
In the old Stormtrooper, it's this black suited Stormtrooper. There's a lot of action actually in this short little
trailer.
And then, ends with some cool, siren sounds. And
which some people have said on the internet sounds like elephants mating. So take that for...
Odd. Very odd. But and then yeah, it ends with an AT-AT. It looks like a battle going on a beachfront with AT-AT walkers shooting at someone.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the rebels, and with Felicity Jones, and
My neighbor's
now
walking
from a rebel uniform in this entire clip to what looks like an imperial, some kind of imperial uniform.
Right. Okay, so my initial thoughts, I took some notes here. I feel like it revealed just enough to kind of pique my interest, but it doesn't give too much away. Like, they could have just put in a clip of Darth Vader and you'd be like, oh, but Darth Vader's in this movie? We pretty much know he's going to be in it if you're a fan of the films, but they could have just used that as a cheap parlor trick to get you to go to the movie, but instead they showed you the new characters, they focused more on them, they showed you just enough to get you excited. What, like CJ mentioned, they had the older, like, stormtrooper outfits, but they also had some updated stuff, and that's really just a way to let you know that this is set back, like, in the timeline that the original trilogy was set in. The AT-ATs that you mentioned, I thought it was interesting because what we think of when we think of the AT-ATs in the original trilogy, at least, and you were talking before we hit record, that they have some stuff in The Force Awakens, like in the sand and stuff like that, but usually you don't think of AT-ATs like stomping through beach water in some like tropical, like stepping over palm trees and stuff like that. It's really like a weird contrast to what we're used to. So that was really cool, and that part kind of made the trailer for me. The part where they look directly at the camera and fire, and you're like, obviously they're blowing people up. It's like the scene in, it's like Saving Private Ryan in space, basically, is what it looked like to me. It looked like a war film.
It's Normandy.
It's like we had all these Star Wars films, but we haven't really seen any war. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was the first time we really saw some more. Jyn Erso seems like a really cool character to bring into the mythos. She kind of... Go ahead.
Disney's really loving that the woman protagonist.
For sure.
But I love it.
I dig it.
Rey was awesome, and I'm sure she'll be awesome.
Well, speaking of Rey was sort of like the Luke Skywalker, the female Luke Skywalker in this new Star Wars universe, and Jyn Erso really seems to be kind of modeled after Dash Rendar. No, I'm just after Han Solo. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I think that's kind of what they're doing, is making these female characters that are sort of modeled after the male characters. I mean, just the way she runs and carries herself, and you know what I mean?
Deep cuts on the Dash Rendar reference.
Khaleesi. So yeah, I mean, I think she's going to be a really cool character. CJ mentioned before, we know literally nothing about these characters. We don't know what Forrest Whitaker's up to. We don't know what Alan Tudyk is in this movie, and I didn't see him in the trailer at all.
No.
You said Donnie Yen, is that his name?
Yeah.
He was the guy doing like the stick flipping and stuff, beating up on
the staff fighting on stormtroopers.
Yeah. So we don't know anything about those guys, and I think that's perfect. And Disney did this really well with The Force Awakens. You had no idea what was going to happen in that movie. And it turned out to be like a big surprise when all this stuff did happen. So I think that's really cool, and I hope they continue to do that. Feels a lot like Empire Strikes Back to me. I mean,
I agree.
I know it's not, it's not in the new episodes. It's an anthology film, so they're going back, but it really feels like this is kind of a nice follow-up to The Force Awakens. It feels kind of like they're doing something different and new, and I really like that, even though it feels very familiar. It's like dark and eerie, and it's CGI, but it doesn't look that way. It doesn't feel that way. You know what I mean?
I think they're going to still, with all these Star Wars films, they're going to kind of take the whole CGI but practical effects into consideration always, because you can't make a Star Wars film without practical effects.
Right. Yeah, you can't.
You just can't.
You got to do a nice mixture of the two. And yeah, aside from that, I mean, my final note here is that I really loved it. I can't stop watching the trailer. I've watched it several times, probably more than CJ has. And
I've only seen it 3 times,
but I just really, like you were saying, the music is great. The performance, even though it's a really cheesy line, I love to like I rebel. I think that's fucking badass. I don't know. I was like, okay, she rebels. Okay, well, take my money. So yeah, I'm really excited for it, and I really was kind of indifferent about it. I didn't know if I should be excited for it, if I shouldn't be. Some people are complaining about it online, like, you know, another
Everyone's
female
complain.
character. You know, where are the white males? Like, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Forrest Whitaker is badass. I thought his performance in the trailer, like, I'm really interested to know what's up with that dude because he's wearing a pretty weird, like, almost
samurai.
like
It looks
like a
samurai suit.
Yeah, which, like, I mean, the Jedis are sort of supposed to be modeled after samurais, and here you got a guy beating people up with a bow staff, and a guy, you know, like, guy with this sweet, like, samurai get up. So I'm excited. I'm in. Final thoughts at all? Is that it for you?
I just want to see the full-on trailer. Like, I'm sure we'll get a full-on trailer during Celebration.
Yeah.
If Disney follows suit on what they did for The Force Awakens, then come Star Wars Celebration time, and I believe it's July. I'm not sure if that's correct, but around that time, they'll
Release a full trailer.
release a full trailer to the audience of that convention, and everyone will be on the super hype train about it, and we'll learn a lot more, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
hopefully see Vader. I just
Maybe.
want to see Vader.
But
I want to
it
see
would be
Vader.
it would be way cooler if they didn't. And then we
I
had
don't
to
think
wait
they
to
will.
see
I
it
don't
until
think
the
they.
movie.
I don't think they will.
Or
but
just like do it.
one can hope.
Do a profile shot, or just add the like at the end of the trailer or something. That would
I
be
bet
sick.
the sound effect is probably
Yeah.
what will come.
Yeah. Okay, so if you liked it or didn't like it, let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Thanks.